have to tell the kids about us.
Kids, she's lost her mind. You have to stop her.
M.O.D.O.K, what are you telling the kids?
I'm comforting them. And if you tell her I said any of this will be one of the many divorces where it is the kid's fault.
First of all, I was wondering what it was like to play another Melissa. Like, do you feel like you really bring that like special Melissa energy to this role?
Definitely. There's a very specific thing about all of us Melissas that I tried to bring into the role. I'm kidding. I hope not, because Melissa is this Melissa, M.O.D.O.K Melissa, is, you know, a kind of evil supervillain. So, yeah, not too many of my sensibilities, but definitely highly flattered that I share the same name with her and with just a new original character in the MCU, which is crazy.
You are, at least visually, like your father's daughter in this show. How do you think that that's affected Melissa's life?
Yeah, I think it definitely has, in terms of expectations and what she perhaps perceives as her destiny. She is very proud to be M.O.D.O.K's daughter, but also I think, you know, like any teenager thinks like he's messing it up and he could totally like do better, and he should just do it how she says he should do it. And, you know, she definitely wants to prove herself to her father, and be an even better, bigger villain than he is. So yeah, I think probably just from the way that she looks, you know, that was going to be her path no matter what. But she's special in that way. She's very ambitious.
I think she also sort of like, maybe that's one of the reasons why she's kind of cruel, like why she's the sick queen bee.
Oh yeah.
Among her friends, because like she's got to like beat them to it. Do you know what I mean? Like she's got to like dominate the conversation.
I think she inherited a lot of M.O.D.O.K's intellect and skill set per se. And so I think she probably learned early on in life that power was going to be her best friend, because otherwise she may be subject to bullying or, you know, people trying to do what they did maybe to her father when he was a kid. And so she was like, nope, that's not going to be my path. And I'm going to rule this school and I'm going to be the queen bee. And she's taken all those little supervillain lessons as like a little prodigy and applied them to her life quite successfully.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me kind of wonder like what Melissa's future is. Do you know what I mean? Like, is she go to college for education or something, but then like walk away realizing like, I'm probably going into the family business. Do you know what I mean?
I think she's pretty set on going into the family business. Like, I'm curious if she even goes to, I don't know, is there like a villain university that exists in this world, you know, where she and all these other like kids of villains go? I don't know. We'll see. But I think she's in the villain life for life.
I mean, we don't see a lot of this in season 1, but Jordan Bloom has talked about it, and we know it's coming in season 2, and that it's that Melissa is also openly bi and has a girlfriend. What can you sort of tell us about that storyline, as much as you know?
You know, I loved that it was something that Jordan kind of knew or planned about the character, but like didn't actually mention it to me when we were recording season 1, and literally was like, oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you. And I was like, yay! I was just thrilled. I thought that it totally made sense for the character. And obviously, you know, I come from the experience of us doing that storyline on Brooklyn Nine-Nine and seeing how much it meant to people, especially young people. So to be playing a teenage character who is openly and unabashedly bisexual, I think is important and needed. So I was thrilled. And I'm really looking forward to, if we get a season 2, to dive in more into that.
Have you figured out what the Jodify method is, and have you successfully incorporated it into your life?
It is a bit of a mystery, isn't it? The Jodify method. You know, I love it because it's, you know, what is this whole influencer life that we are all living? Do you know what I mean? I feel like for whatever you want to attempt, you can find an influencer to guide you. So props to Jodie for, filling that niche. And I don't know that I'm personally applying it or that her daughter is. Pretty sure Melissa thinks it's all bullshit, but to each his own.
That's also like a teenager thing. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
like
yeah.
anything your parents do is complete bullshit no matter what. Like
100%.
And last question, have you personally ever given anyone a makeover? Melissa is partially successful in the show.
She is partially successful. I'm trying to think. Not really. I feel like, yeah. I'm
I feel
usually
like makeovers
on the receiving end. I'm usually on the like, please teach me how to do my makeup and tell me all the things, what skincare should I use and all that. I'm not usually at the forefront of that.
I think makeovers like quicksand or, whatever, or one of those things that like happened a lot more in movies when we were growing up than happened in life. Do you know what I mean? Like, I really thought this would be like an ongoing concern, and it just really isn't.
No,
in adult life.
Yeah, I know. I think it's a good thing. Like we're all becoming more accepting, right? Of like everyone gets to be who they are and have their own style, and what looks good on you might not look good on me. And I feel like our conversations around that have like kind of evolved, and and sort of this idea of. Although, listen, I will cry like a little bitch during any episode of Queer Eye. So
This is an outrage!
Toot, 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 right? Toot, 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 toot.